Welcome to Resilience Rocks Sales, your front row seat to rocking your sales game. I'm your host, Stacey Kopass. Today's episode is brought to you by the Academy of Resilience Inner Circle. For more information, head to academyofresilience.com.au. Now on with the show. Hello and welcome to another episode of Resilience Rocks Sales. Today, I'm joined by somebody whose story is filled with examples of resilience, sales, leadership. My gosh, there's so many things that I've learned from listening to David's podcast and his keynotes. And so, I'm super excited to have David Meltzer here with us today.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about my favorite things in the world, all combined together is resilience, leadership, and sales are all part and parcel to each other. So thanks for the opportunity to be here with you, Stacey.
Wonderful, wonderful. And for the listeners that we have today that haven't met you, come across your story at all yet, would you be able to just share a little bit about your story just to bring everyone up to speed to where I am, so then we can dig into some of the principles around the resilience and sales and leadership too?
Of course. Well, that's why I'm here, because the total addressable community of 7.6 billion people, most of them don't know who I am. And my story of resilience is really the story of traveling in three different worlds. I grew up in the world of not enough, where I was a victim. I had a single mom who raised 6 kids and packed my dinner in a paper bag as she worked from being a second grade teacher to filling up turnstiles with greeting cards at convenience stores to graduating law school and taking a job in the internet instead of being a litigator, where I became a millionaire 9 months out of law school and entered a world what I call of just enough, where so many people, especially on social media, live in the world of just enough for me, thinking everything happens for me, and end up in a energy suck between who they really are and who they want people to think they are. So they buy things to be happy. They buy more things to be happy. They buy different things to be happy. They even buy things that they don't need to impress people they don't like. And this zero-sum game of a trade or negotiation for everything, including giving, believing the more you give, the more you receive, can also be a detriment in a world of scarcity where there's just enough for me. And through the lessons I learned by almost losing my marriage and definitely losing my financial security of over $100 million and going bankrupt when I ran the most notable sports agency in the world, Lee Steinberg Sports Entertainment. They made the movie Jerry Maguire about our firm. I was in the basement of basement. Not only had I lost everything, but everybody else wanted to be me, wanted my job, thought I had the perfect wife, life, and otherwise, but I was empty. And that's when I took stock in who I was and what I wanted to become. And I took stock not only in values, but practices and also execution models that have moved me over the last 16 years to make more money than I ever have, to help more people than I ever have, and to have more fun than I ever have. I live in an infinite loop of more than enough of everything. Not enough being a victim, not just enough making stupid decisions, but a world of more than enough of everything for everyone by sticking to my values, my daily practices, and my execution model, which has led me on my mission now to empower over 1 billion people around the world, which is why I'm here today, to do the same, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
What an awesome approach to life. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Like, my gosh, if you could boil down anything into 3 simple things, I think if anyone was looking for a starting point of, because sometimes people are like, well, I don't know what my mission is, I don't know what my vision is, or anything like that. I would highly recommend borrow David's to get you started, because I think that it's brilliant. And look, and so much of that has obviously come from, as you said, losing everything at that point. So what did you find at that point where you did lose all of it? What did you find yourself mourning the most in what you'd lost?
Um, the respect of my wife, and my mom. I sat on my bed and I thought to myself, wow, I hate my mom, I hate my dad, I hate my best friend, and I hate my wife, and everyone else loves me. What's the matter with those four people? Well, you know what was the matter with those four people is they actually cared about me and were honest to me. And what I realized was I didn't hate any of those four people. I actually hated myself. I hated myself for all the reasons that they told me that the other people loved me for who I wasn't. And I'd rather people hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. And my wife especially kept saying, those people don't care about you. I care about you. And was willing to risk everything by telling me the truth. And I wanted to redeem myself with the four people that love me the most, especially my wife. And I had to forgive myself for the things that I did that uh, created interference between my credibility and my love for them and through them. And that to me is still the hardest thing, to forgive myself for hurting the people that love me the most and hating the people that love me the most. But luckily, takes a long time. I've been able through my behavior to illustrate the love that I have, especially for those four people.
And what was that like as far as needing to, I guess, look having to go inward because obviously everything outside is a reflection of what's going on inside. So, what was that like having that mirror held up to you and realizing that again, that forgiveness of self, like like in practice, what did that actually look like for you?
Well, it's understanding giving and receiving, believe it or not. And so, gratitude and forgiveness are directly related to our worthiness. And so, I was taught in the world of not enough, the more you give, the more you receive. But yet I saw my mom, and I still see my mom as someone who's given everything to her six children, to her second grade, then to her school, and then Sunday school, and then community and women's liberation in the 70s, where women who were divorced couldn't even get credit without having a husband. These are things that actually occurred in her lifetime. But yet, why was it that now at 80 years old, she had nothing left after giving if the more you give. And so I actually looked at the Bibles, I looked at spiritual, philosophical, and theoretical texts. And what they really said was the more we give, the more we're given. And it's through forgiveness and gratitude that we raise our awareness to all that we're given. But even if we're aware of all that we're given, we're very gracious and forgiving people. It is the worthiness that stops us from receiving. And so many of us, and this applies to sales as well, we give 100%. We're aware of the 120% that people are willing to give to us, all that we're given, but we don't feel worthy of it. So we only receive 98% of the 100% that we give. And slowly but surely, the new 100% is 98%, that we only receive 98% of that. And we end up in a zero sum game where eventually we have zero to give and we're given zero, and so forth and so on. And so I teach people through gratitude and forgiveness to elevate their awareness of all that we're given, but also to receive it and ask for more. And so I want people to live in the world of more than enough, to give more, be given more, receive more, ask for more. You'll end up being able to give more than more. You'll be given more than more. You'll receive more than more, and you'll ask for more than more. And now, and so on, you live in a value add world, an infinite loop, an abundant world of more than enough of everything for everyone, where you make more money, you help more people, and you have more fun.
I love that, and I love that addition to the because obviously we hear about, give more, receive more, do all that sort of stuff, but I love that you've added the ask for more, and that's something I think is probably one of the things that's probably most uncomfortable for people to get to that point. So what advice do you have for someone that is listening to this and they've gone, "Yep, I can give more, I'm open to receiving more," but ask for more and their stomach just goes.
Yeah.
So
Let me share
how do people move beyond that?
everything that we want in our lives. It takes practice. And we have to realize that good behavior does not create good outcomes in our life, especially instantaneously. right? You diet one day, it's not going to create 10 pounds off of your waist. If you have proper nutrition over 10 years, you're going to be in really healthy shape. I promise you, because good behavior creates good progress, not good outcomes. Bad behavior creates bad progress and eventually bad outcomes. And eventually good outcomes will come from the progress that we make aligned with where we want to be or better. I'll share a quick story about someone that I work with. Um, he has a daughter who unfortunately has a very serious dis-ease, and she had a stroke, a mini stroke on Friday. And I've been teaching him this exact lesson. He refuses to ask for help, refuses to ask for more. Well, his daughter ended up having this mini stroke. It's a holiday weekend here in the United States. And I had introduced him to $1 billion family of mine, family office, who actually had a technology that is AI that can instantly find out if the medications you're on have any conflicts or can create any problems by the side effects. And this is a huge problem in America and around the world, that we're on too many medications and we don't know what they're doing to each other. And we don't sometimes even know they're prescribed to us. So um, he sat there with his daughter, who's 13 years old, in the hospital during a holiday weekend, and they don't know what's the matter. They can't figure it out. And he actually, even in this circumstance, said to himself, "Oh, I feel bad calling them. I don't know them that well. I feel bad calling them." And he heard my voice in his head say, ask, ask for more. You're worthy of it. Ask. So he called them. He said, "We have a mutual friend. I know you don't know me that well, but my mutual friend told me you have this AI software. Would it be possible to help me? My daughter's in the hospital and we're not doing well." And they immediately said, "Oh my goodness, of course, give me." And they talked in 10 minutes, they figured it out. And by the end of the day, she was leaving the hospital. That's how quick. And he said to himself, "Oh my gosh, how much of my life am I missing because I haven't asked for more?" I said, "Here's the thing you don't realize. Of course, your daughter benefited it. Of course that you benefited. But I don't think you realize how much my friends who had the software have benefited and what you've given to them. And then even moreover, it made my whole weekend. Like I had so many wonderful things that were going on, an NBA All-Star game and my family and all that. I could have asked for a better holiday weekend, but my favorite thing, the most valuable thing of my weekend is that somehow I played a part in all of this, added value to his daughter, to him and my friends. And now they have a case study for the software. The hospital knows about it. They're bragging to I mean, who knows how much value add of more than enough money, more than enough help, and more than enough fun everyone gets. But what would have happened if he sat there all weekend and said, "I'm not worthy," or "I feel bad asking for help"? Imagine where we would be today. Unbelievable.
That's such an incredible example of that, isn't it? And just shifting the energy around asking for help, isn't it? And remembering that people love to help, don't they? And if we actually don't ask, we're robbing people of the opportunity to help us. Like, my
That is the key.
gosh.
How good do
Yeah.
you feel when you help someone? Why would you deny that feeling from anyone else? But yet we feel bad asking. We feel bad. We feel guilty. We feel not enough. And when you feel not enough, you're going to get not enough. When you feel more than enough, you're going to get more than enough. And this was a great illustration of how everyone's mindset should be. When you have faith and wisdom, it's going to confirm only when you ask for more. Asking for more is a confirmation of your faith and wisdom that there's more than enough of everything, that there is an infinite loop, that we belong to a world that's infinite, unified, and abundant in its nature, expanding at all times, not constricting in a zero sum projection or direction.
And that's such a perfect mindset for people in sales too, isn't it? Because what's sales about? It's about asking, it's about adding value, it's about helping. So for somebody that was in, say, sales leadership who was listening to this, how would you advise them to start to apply some of those principles in how they actually lead their sales teams?
Yeah, well, I want to offer everyone because I give this to all sales team. I just did a global sales summit for Dropbox and went through number one. Most people don't understand value, and there's only two ways to provide value to people. And I think we have to start there to remind our sales forces there's only two ways we provide value. We either give people more of what they like, or we take away some, if not all, of what they don't like. That's it. So, what we need to do is find out what people are doing today aligned with the capabilities that we have. So, if you're in solar, find out what do you know? What are you doing? What do you think about solar? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And then ask them a simple question. Would it help you if I gave you more of what you like? Would it help you if I took away some of what you don't like? And then it just comes down to your ability to articulate a quantitative value of that to exceed what you're asking for. And so that's a little bit of sales training and leadership training and otherwise. But this simple open ended question template will change. I've made millions of dollars in a very short amount of time for sales forces by simply having them use a simple template. Now, the other two hacks that I have is one, only deal with open minds. So we waste so much time trying to re-engineer a closed mind when there's so many people out there that are willing to help us. When we build a community of people saying, hey, would it help you if, and do you know anyone that can help me? Because on average, everyone's connected now to 1,000 people, not 4 people. And so if we're not taking advantage of open minds that have open hearts and open hands that are willing to help us and know people that can help us, building a community of people that are willing to help us and know people that can help us, which is, by the way, a community that's guaranteed to give every salesperson success. Why? Because the community people that are willing to help one another and know people that can help one another, they buy from you for life and they sell for you for life. And there's no better community you want as a salesperson than a community of people that are buying from you and selling for you for life. Talk about an amplification of quantitative value and success. And so I teach people to find open minds, to utilize the open ended question template. And then finally, the other narrative or cheat or a hack that I have is because there's so many people in our total addressable community, so many accessible people in our community, I teach people to have people get back to you. You know, since, when I started selling, it would take me over a month to get in contact with 1,000 people. Now it takes me less than 10 seconds. So if I can get people to get back to me, if I get 2 times as many people, I'll double my sales without getting better at sales. 3 times, I'll triple my sales without getting better at sales. But the key component is by getting double or triple the amount of people to get back to us, I get more practice, which creates more progress. That makes me even better at sales. So it's even exponential. It's not just double or triple, it's quadruple or more.
My gosh, that is just anyone that's listening, just listen to this on loop. Like it's just in 5 minutes there, you've just shared such an amazing template and framework for people to just exponentially grow their sales. And you've also shared some of the resilience rocks around gratitude and stuff like that as well. And as far as the resilience rocks goes, there's one more piece of the puzzle before we wrap up. Resilience rocks having a musical twist. Music is such a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of resilience. And so I find that there's nothing more powerful to change your state in 3 to 5 minutes than music. And so what I'd love to know in your world, do you have a go-to song that if you needed to change your state in a quick time, what would be the song that you'd pop on and play and why?
Yeah. So Where's Love by my boy Will I Am. Yeah, Black Eyed Peas, but, I use vibroacoustic, uh, solution. So I have a sound lounge. So I actually take things by megahertz, and I agree with you 100%. There's certain songs, Bob Marley, for example, John Lennon with Imagine, a variety of people as well as the Black Eyed Peas, are at 432 megahertz, which is a theta vibration or frequency. I actually use vibroacoustic healing and have a sound lounge. And I keep it on, not even when I'm on it meditating and healing, but I keep it on that changes the vibration in the room. Even if I'm just in another room, it changes the vibration in my house. So you should all have a vibroacoustic solution. Pick your songs that make you feel the best and it's actually changing your cellular frequency and vibration. It's a healing power as well as an inspirational power. And check out the Sound Lounge. It's amazing. I will also, like I wanted to say, everyone email me. It's in the notes, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll be happy to send you the open-ended question template and the guides and the exercises, an ebook if you're around the world. I actually will sign a book, send it to you, pay for shipping in the book if you're in America. I'll pay for all of that. So david@dmeltzer.com. It's you and I are so aligned. We have to do more content. We have to change the world together through vibration and frequency. My frequency is my neighborhood. I am so blessed to be in Stacy's neighborhood. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I encourage everyone to reach out to David and follow him on all the socials. The content is just amazing, incredibly generous man. And thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to reconnecting down the track. And to our listeners, I look forward to joining you again on the next episode of Resilience Rocks Sales. Until then, be your best. Thanks for joining us again this week on Resilience Rocks Sales. Don't just listen though, take action. The best sales professionals are always learning. Head over to resiliencerocks.com now to go backstage and get the resources mentioned today to help rock your sales goals.